You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today on our Friday review, I've got, I think, a very timely episode. So a lot of people ask, what do I do personally and what do I use in my practice to stay healthy through the wintertime? Now, in New England, or if you live in a cold place like New England, it gets brutally cold. So for basically January, February, March, it is cold. The water is so cold, the wind off of it gets really just like penetrating right through your body, right through your chest. Not good for ear, nose, and throat-based issues. And of course, flu season can be no picnic either. So how do we get through that? Like, how do we boost our immune systems when we feel a cold coming on? So I'm going to give you both the adult version, and I want to make sure that your whole family stays safe, that they stay healthy. And these are things that I use for my own children and always have. That's why, one of the things that I'm most appreciative of in life is that I was able to start my own health journey at such a young age. Of course, I wasn't very appreciative back then, but now I am, because I got to go through all of this. And then I got to go in active practice before I even had children. And now that I have children, I really feel like I know exactly what they need to stay healthy really throughout life. And so really makes me happy to be able to pass that on for my children. There's no trial and error, and that I really hope that they live the healthiest and happiest life that they can. And again, this is just something that I'm truly appreciative of. Okay, so let's go to the adult-based immune protocol first. So one thing that other practitioners tell me all the time, because again, I mentor a lot of practitioners, they're always like, how do you give away all of the things that you're doing at your practice? Like, why do you teach everyone that? And why do you talk about this for free on the podcast and all of these different things? And I let them know that type of mentality is basically a lack-based mentality. It's thinking that other people are just going to steal your information. And I always let people know that, if you believe in karma and you believe in doing good and you believe in being service to others, you understand that it's not just about you helping others too. You feel fulfilled, you feel like that you're making a difference, and you honestly feel that at the end of the day, you'd be doing something unethical and immoral if you knew you had something that helped people and you didn't share it with them. And so when you start to live that life philosophy, then there is no hoarding of information or any of these specific things. And so I let people know too, everyone's at a different point in their journey. And even though I talk about all sorts of different methods that we've used literally with 200,000 client appointments, we know what works. I mean, if anyone in the world knows, we do. And I don't say that from an ego standpoint. It's simply because I've been doing this for so long and have so much data. I see it every day. And if it wasn't working, of course, I would make tweaks. And we have made tweaks over 20 years. And really about 10 years ago is when we really nailed it, that we knew what we were doing. We had it perfect. And now from there, it's just subtle, very, very small tweaks. But what I want to share with you now is a specific immune boosting protocol that we've been using for close to 4 years. And you can do more. So I'm going to say that straight up and right away, you absolutely can do more. And I'll give you some of those more things you can do, but it's my personal belief and what I've seen that typically no more is needed. How I use nutritional supplements in my practice is that I always say there's a tier 1, there's a tier 2, and then there's a tier 3, and then there's everything else. Tier 1 is essential. You have to do these. Tier 2 would be, great add-on. That would be nice. Tier 3 is this would help you, not hurt you. And everything else is like unnecessary. You don't need to do it. You can just kind of experiment with it if you'd like. So I'm going to give you the tier 1. I'm going to give you just the essentials today. And again, you can add additional things if you feel like they've always worked for you. So The other important thing is this, is that you have to have these products on hand. People wait till they're getting sick to go and find these products. You have to have them in your home, in your office, in order to just take them at the first sign of a cold. Why? Because it's now clinically proven that if you use specific products like echinacea, like zinc, like lysine, like I'm going to share all these with you now, if you use those at the first sign of a cold, it's going to lessen the duration by 2 to 3 days of your cold, and you might not even get it in the first place because you're going to boost your immune system. And what do supplements do? It gives your body more help. That's what it does. It's like you're going into battle and it's you versus, let's say, 20 people. Not a great idea. But what if you get 19 of your friends? Like now it's fair, right? Then it's a fair fight. And then what if you get 30? Well, now it's tipped in your favor. So I'm full of poor analogies. So let's just get right into the protocol. So the protocol is this. We know that vitamin C, although not the most powerful antioxidant in the world by any means, it isn't, right? But what it is a absolutely powerful way to recycle other even more powerful antioxidants. So not only is it fantastic in and of itself, it makes everything better in your body, and your body goes through it in times of stress. It goes through it when immune system's being used up, when you need tissue repair. So overall, vitamin C is just a phenomenal product. And we humans, we lost something in the whole genetic pool. We cannot endogenously make our own vitamin C, and a lot of other animals can. So we need to get it on a daily basis. And so just taking vitamin C through the winter, probably a smart idea. And it's something that I add to my greens powder in the morning. I think I've shared that with you before on a previous podcast on what I use for my daily fruit and vegetable blend. But if not, you can always find it just on our online store. So what do you do when at the first sign of a cold? Okay, here it is. You're going to use 2 to 3 grams of ascorbic acid vitamin C. Now, from other health practitioners, I'm going to get the question, why wouldn't you use camu or acerola berry or a vitamin C extract from citrus? And the reason is this, that ascorbic acid in and of itself is very powerful at killing viruses. And a lot of people, and this goes for health practitioners, you'll find that many of your most sensitive clients have what's called a Th2 immune system imbalance that leads them to being susceptible to higher amounts of histamines and food sensitivities. So when you use things that are citrus-based, it can often make them seem like they're more sick than they really are because their eyes get red and itchy and watery. And that's a lot of times from those food-based forms of vitamin C. So in the future, could they use them? Absolutely, but especially not when their immune system's already under attack. Okay, we use echinacea, and we also use a product called Virusid. It's a fantastic product. We really enjoy it. We really like it. We use it by orthomolecular medicine, and what we do is we're taking 2 capsules of that every 3 hours. This is what we're doing. Every 3 hours, we're using these 3 products every 3 hours for the entire day. So we do that 5 times per day, and we do that for basically days 1 to 5 of a cold. Now, it should be gone by then, but if it isn't, then we have a second part to the immune-based protocol that's more antibacterial. It kind of goes for the whole body rather than antiviral. And we use more vitamin C. We're using a very powerful product called grapefruit seed extract, and we're using a formula called Wellness Formula. So essentially, on our online store, everybody who purchases this package, and again, we sell it at the lowest possible retail cost, and anybody who purchases that package, they get my infographic telling them step by step what I do myself and what I use in my practice. So in addition to these things, what else could you take? Well, if you really wanted to, you could take a bunch of different things. I mean, you could use elderberry syrup if you do have a cough or cold, any of those things. So there's a lot of other natural formulas that you could use. But again, this is what we use. We have never really seen a case for more. Something that I'll just let you know that I personally use is it's called by Nutribiotic. It's a zinc and grapefruit seed extract spray that I spray in the back of my throat about 8 times, which is a lot, whenever I feel the signs of a cold coming on, and it works phenomenally well. Okay, I want to share with you now our children's-based protocol because, I mean, honestly, I love working with kids in my practice. I work with kids in my practice, I would say, pretty much every week. A lot of times it's digestive issues, it's psoriasis, it's eczema, it's even autoimmune-based issues, which is terrible now in young kids, and ADD, ADHD, all of that, which is all of it, again, all of it can be cleared up. Don't let anybody tell you that your child's destined to a life of ADD, ADHD, all of these things, or psoriasis. It's just not the truth. So let's go through an immune-based protocol for kids. Again, I use this with my own children over and over and over because kids get like 6 to 10 colds per year. And that's actually normal for children. They're being exposed for the first time in life to all these different viruses and microbes, and their body's actually mounted an immune-based response to that. So remember, all of my protocols are not trying to suppress the immune system or suppress the cough or suppress the runny nose or suppress the runny eyes. What it's doing is it's actually boosting the immune system to fight that virus or bacteria, whatever it might be. So we use about 1 to 2 teaspoons of a product called Natronex by Orthomolecular Medicine for young kids that basically ages 2 and under. And we're doing the same protocol, just the actual amount varies. And again, when you purchase the Children's Base Immune Protocol from us, again, lowest possible retail price for supplements, all that good stuff. We also give you my immune-based protocol that I use in my own children. We keep all these products on hand. Not only do we keep them on hand, we keep an extra bottle just in case that we don't have it. Of course, I have keys to my wellness center that I can get extra product whenever I need it. But just in case, we always have it on hand. And a lot of times we're giving it out to friends and family when they're wondering what to do for their kids. Okay. So we use that, again, it's a cough syrup, but it's not just for a cough. You have to understand that. It has time. It's just liquid, right? Because kids need liquid to get these supplements in their body. We're also using children's echinacea in a larger amount in addition to the Natronex. And we're also using vitamin D all winter long, especially above the Atlanta, Georgia line in the United States, to boost their vitamin D levels, to boost their immunity. We're just giving that little bit extra when they're not feeling well. So this absolutely works. It works fantastically well. It's all I've ever needed with my own children or with really anyone else. We will add sometimes some vitamin C in my kids' water, and we'll typically be doing a multivitamin as well. That's just kind of year round. But one more thing I'll say is you can do specific things for children as well. Meaning, like, you could do a throat spray if they have swollen glands or tonsils. Again, no need to pull those tonsils out. You can do specific things for that. You can do a little apple cider vinegar, honey, lemon. That works great too. Other things that you can do. If your kids have an earache, again, I don't own any stock in this company. Again, I don't want people to think that I'm promoting for the sake of promoting. I just want you to know what I do and what I recommend. A company called Nutribiotic. They make great products for cough and cold. They have a product which is basically ear drops. And it's this like thick gel made from grapefruit seed extract. You can use that in your child's ear. If you want to make your own, garlic oil works phenomenally well for earaches. That works great too. There's hydrogen peroxide, there's food grade 3%, all these different things that work great as well. So anyway, if you have specific questions, I could go on and on and on, trust me, but you can simply just ask me on the Cabral House Call. Every weekend, I answer all of your questions. It's a pleasure to do so. So, of course, if you ever have any of your own, just go to stephencabral.com/Ask Cabral, and I'd be happy to answer those. And if you want to keep the adult immune boosting protocol on hand and the children's immune boosting protocol on hand, simply go to stephencabral.com/store. You can see exactly what I use. There's no smoke and mirrors. These are the products I use. This is what I have in my own house, in my little medicine cabinet with everything that I possibly need. And it's just great to have it on hand. So I want to thank everyone once again for tuning into the Cabral Concept. I appreciate each and every one of your listens. And if anyone you know, more like in everyone that you know, please feel free to pass along this specific episode to them, because truthfully, we all need these things. We don't want to have to rely on antibiotics, which are going to really harm our guts in the long run. These are the things that lead to leaky gut, to increased intestinal permeability, to candida overgrowth, to small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. They lead to a lifetime of health issues when we don't have to take those antibiotics unless it's a life-saving condition. We can use these natural immune boosting protocols that have been around forever. That means thousands of years. So once again, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great day. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stephencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.